Hello, it's Eitel from WebScripto again. Today we're going to have a look at creating a new user on your WordPress website. In order for us to do that, we need to go to your WordPress administration area. We have already gone there. The screen is already open in the dashboard. In order for us to create a new user, we will go to the user menu item. If you hover over the user menu item, you will see that there are three sub-menu items. First, it's the all users, add new, and the your profile. If you click on all users, it will give you a list of all the users. Now, because this is just a demonstration site, there is only one administrator currently, and that person's name is admin. Now, normally this is changed to make it more secure. WordPress by default, if it is installed on a server, it creates an admin administrator with the name admin, and it gives it a password consisting of 4 letters, PASS. So the password is pass. Now, obviously that is the first thing that you change on a website to make it secure. Every person that wants to be a hacker knows that WordPress by default creates a username admin and the password pass. So that this should be removed immediately and replaced. Now, WebScripto normally does this for you. When we create the website, we will replace this admin with your username and your password. For the purpose of this exercise, however, I've left it as is so that we can both show you how to create a new username and how to remove a current user. So we're going to create a new. I'm going to click on add new up here, or I can click add new here as well. It will bring you to the same screen. Now, first of all, you need to give a username to the new user. I'm not going to use the Eitel as suggested by the software that I'm using. I'm going to create a silly user name. We will call it silly user. Now, that person's email address must be added as well, because WordPress will either require you to use your username or your email to log in. If you forgot your username, you can use your email and vice versa. So I'm just going to use an example at example.com. Obviously there is no such an email, but this is just exercise that we are running through, so we will leave it as is. First name, let's say we call this user, or this user's first name is name. We will add it there. We will add his surname, which will be surname for the purpose of this exercise. If that user has a website, you can add the website address here, but it's not really required. So I'm going to skip it for the purpose of this demonstration. Now, WordPress will automatically add the password. You just need to click on show password, and it will give you a very strong password. You can look at that. Nobody's going to guess that password easily. But what we do suggest is that you do create a copy of that username and password and store it somewhere safe. Now I'm going to open a Word file here. I'm going to copy silly user. That is the username. I'm going to paste it in there, make space. I'm going to copy the password, copy it, open the Word file again, paste it there. Now we have the username and the password, which we can save and store some in a secure area. I'm going to save it to the desktop. There's the desktop, silly user. I've already created a similar document earlier. I'm just going to replace the existing file with the one that I've created just now. And for the time being, I can remove this Word file from the screen. If you create a new user for your website, you will have to send out an email to that person. in order to give that person his username as well as his or her password. I'm not going to do that because we are using a non-existing email address, so I'm just going to deselect the send user notification. The last thing we will have to have a look at is what function we are going to give to silly user. Now there's a drop down list you can click on, and you will see that it will give you a subscriber, a contributor, an author, an editor, and an administrator function. Now a subscriber function is simply somebody that subscribes to your website. You give that person access to a specific page where you can read posts. So a normal visitor, if you don't want to give them access to a specific part of a website, they will not be logged in or created as a user. So they will only have access to the pages you want to give to them. Now a subscriber is if somebody subscribes to your blogs, or there's a page that only a subscriber can see, this is where you give a subscriber function to that person. He can log into the website but only have access to those pages. He or she will not have access to the back end of your website. A contributor is very similar to a subscriber. A contributor is somebody that can send you posts which you can evaluate and see whether you would like to place on your website. An author is somebody that is specifically giving his or her services as an author. That person will get access to the back end of your website, but only to the post area where you or she will be able to create a post which will be kept as a draft on the back end of your website for you to have a look at and approve and post it. Now if you have a colleague that you would like to authorize to edit posts which were created by authors, you can give an editor function to that individual, and that editor will have access to all those posts, draft posts that will be kept in your post area, and he or she will then have the authority to approve that article, and once approved it will show on the front page of your website. Now administrator, this is simply a function that overrides any other function. This is a superior. Some people refer to this as a super admin. An administrator has access to all the areas of the website which these others do not have access to. And your administrator is normally the person that is building the website, that will go to areas like appearance and editor, where HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP codes are written into the software or into WordPress. They will go there with the administrator functions. And obviously, administrator is a person that can create and assign roles to new users. So for the purposes of this exercise, we're going to make silly user an administrator, give him that function. We're not going to send him an email, but we are going to add new user. Let us click on add new user. I'm going to close this software. We're not going to save this in that fashion because this is only an example site. Now you can see that we have two users. Admin, the one which we would like to remove because of security reasons, and then silly user, which is now actually going to be the owner and the administrator of this website. We are going to have to log out of this website and sign in as silly user in order to remove that admin. So what we're going to do, if we want to log out, you will see here WordPress is saying howdy admin, so it recognizes this admin as a current user that is signed in and has access to all the areas on your website. So what we're going to do, we're going to log out. So once we log out, admin is now logged out, so nobody is logged into this website. Now we are going to come back with the WordPress file that we have created earlier on. We are going to select silly user as the user, paste it in there. We are going to, let's open that document again, copy that password, copy, paste it in there, and log in. You will now notice that we are logged in again, but this time we are greeted by the name and surname, and we can see silly user is the person that is now signed in. So admin is no longer signed in, and what we need to do is now to delete admin as a user. Now all the users, let's go there again to see a list of all the users. Admin is still there. We can do two things. I'm first going to show you, let's say we would like to keep admin and assign a different role. Then what we can do, we are looking at admin as a user at his or her profile. So we haven't created the first name and last name. Here we can make changes to the functions that the person can. We can give a profile picture. We can generate a new password to make it safer. We can, yes, we give the different roles. But we are not going to edit the user admin. Let's just quickly click update so that we can go back to the list of all users. We are going to select delete. Admin will now be deleted, but before it is deleted, it will give you one last opportunity to make a decision. Let's have a look. What should be done with content owned by this user? So this is content that was created by admin. In this case, admin hasn't created anything, so we can simply say delete all content. Or if admin has created 2 blog articles, we can click here to attribute all content to silly user. We're going to do that, and we can confirm the deletion. Now you will note that in the list there's only silly user. Silly user is now the only administrator, and silly user can proceed with doing what they want. I want to show you just a quick example. I refer to a super admin or your admin administrator. There you can see that's a role. Under appearance and editor, this is where the administrator have access to different parts of the website. This is CSS coding. So let's click on theme header. Now this is HTML code that is being used in combination with HTML5, and perhaps there may be 1 or 2 inline CSS functions, but I don't see any in this particular file. But let's leave it right there for this moment. I just wanted to show you that the administrator can have access to the core of the WordPress website where the design work and functions are allocated. So I think that is all that I wanted to show you today, and that is how to create a user, how to delete a user from your WordPress website. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.